I was really surprised when I found out, numbers-wise, I wasn't likely to live longer with a lung transplant. It turns out that if you're really sick with COPD, your odds of living 5 years are about the same whether you get a transplant or keep treating your COPD with medicine. I know what it's like to live with COPD. I'm okay when I'm sitting, but I get so short of breath when I walk across the room. I can't play with my grandkids, and I certainly can't garden anymore. Heck, I can't do anything without my oxygen. I've been sick a couple of times this past year, but for the most part, I'm okay. My doctors say that if I keep on taking my medications, wearing my oxygen, and going to pulmonary rehab, that I can live like this for another 5 years. Transplant is a bit more dicey. The doctors can't tell me if I'm going to do really well after transplant or not. I think I'm going to be okay. I can't wait to go back to the things that I like doing, like gardening and traveling. But what if I don't? What if I'm the one that doesn't do well and has to stay in the hospital for a long time? Or what if it's worse? What if I die? Then I would be better off just dealing with my oxygen and inhalers. But what really surprised me was learning that I only had a 50-50 chance of living for more than 5 years after a lung transplantation. That even if things go well after transplant, that I may get an infection or my body may attack my new lungs. There's this thing that's called BOS. About half of lung transplant patients who are still living get it within 5 years. The doctors don't know why it happens and don't have any treatment for it. My doctor told me that if I got BOS, I would pretty much feel like I do now for my COPD, short of breath. So even though it seemed like transplant was the cure, it turns out that it doesn't really up the odds of you living longer. And that's why the doctors are giving me a choice about the transplant. Since neither option would make me live longer, the choice of treatment has to be based on what I learn about the pros and cons of each option and what I was willing to put myself through based on my values.